Starting late doesn't mean starting wrong. I'm Evan Cole, and welcome to 2 a.m. Money Reset, where there's no hype, no shame, and just the next clear step. If you're in your 40s with nothing saved, you don't need another lecture about what you should have done at 25. Fidelity says 3 times your salary by 40, yet that target assumes a 25-year-old start. The Federal Reserve found only 35% of non-retired adults feel on track. Today we're building a realistic 10-year catch-up plan with 5 numbers, the right order for every dollar, and a 7-day reset. Fidelity suggests saving roughly 3 times your salary by 40 and 6 times by 50. That guideline assumes you began saving about 15% of your income, including any employer match, starting at 25 and continuing steadily all the way to 67. It's a reference point, not a verdict. The Federal Reserve found only 35% of non-retired adults feel their retirement savings are on track, and that means nearly 2 out of 3 people are in the same boat as you are. You're not broken, and you're not behind alone. Starting at 40, with a real plan beats starting at 25 with no system and no consistent saving habit at all. To make this concrete, we'll follow Jordan through every step. Jordan is 45, earns $75,000 per year, has no retirement savings, about $1,000 in emergency cash, some high-interest credit card debt, and a workplace retirement plan that matches 4% of every dollar. Your numbers will differ, but the sequence still applies. By the end of this video, you'll know 5 numbers that tell you where you stand, the correct order for every extra dollar, and what 10 years of steady investing could actually build. Let's replace one huge question with 5 small ones you can answer today. First, find your actual retirement balance. Look through every old 401k, 403b, IRA, pension, and workplace retirement account from every single former employer you've ever worked for, no matter how long ago it was. Don't assume you've got nothing until you've checked every old account. Second, calculate your monthly margin. Take your monthly take-home pay and subtract basic living expenses and minimum debt payments. What remains is the money that can go toward your recovery plan, not the amount you wish you could save, but the amount that genuinely exists today. Third, list your high-interest debt. Write down each balance, interest rate, and minimum payment. A mortgage at a relatively low fixed rate and a credit card charging much higher variable interest aren't the same problem at all, so treat them differently. Fourth, count your emergency cash. You need to know how many weeks of basic expenses you could cover without touching a credit card. An emergency fund isn't separate from your retirement plan because without accessible savings, a car repair or medical bill can force you right back into debt. Fifth, learn your workplace retirement plan details. Find your contribution rate, employer match formula, vesting schedule, investment options, and total fees. Your plan's summary plan description should explain how the match works, when employer contributions officially become yours, and what rules you need to follow to keep every dollar. Jordan has 0 in retirement savings, some margin after basic bills and minimum payments, some high-interest credit card debt, $1,000 emergency cash, and a workplace plan that matches 4%. Those are Jordan's 5 starting numbers. Your numbers will be different, but the process is the same. Once you have those 5 numbers, the next question is what to do with every extra dollar. And getting the order right matters more than the amount. When people feel behind, they often try to solve everything at once. They invest a little, pay extra on different debts, and pull savings back out when something breaks. That creates motion, but it doesn't create progress. Financial planner Brian Preston and the Money Guy team teach a financial order of operations built around giving every dollar a job by priority. We'll use a simplified version. First, stop new financial damage. Bring basic bills current, stop adding high-interest revolving debt, and build a starter cash reserve that can handle your most likely near-term shock without forcing you to borrow or pull from a retirement account. Second, capture the full employer match. It's part of your compensation, so learn the formula and confirm the vesting rules. Your own contributions belong to you, but some employer contributions may require a period of service before they're vested. Third, attack high-interest debt. After securing the full employer match, direct every extra dollar toward the debt doing the most damage. This doesn't mean eliminating every loan before investing. It means paying very high interest consistently works against your plan. Fourth, build a fuller emergency reserve based on your basic expenses, dependents, health, and job stability. Fifth, progressively increase retirement investing. This is the step where the real catch-up process starts accelerating and your consistent effort begins to produce measurable results you can actually see. And notice the order. We didn't begin by chasing the hottest stock. We began by making your financial life harder to knock over. Jordan stops the damage first, then captures the 4% match, attacks the credit card debt, builds a larger emergency reserve, and only then increases retirement investing beyond the match. The sequence matters more than the amount. But knowing the right order is only half the battle. The other half is making sure you don't burn out trying to do it all at once. The word catch-up can create another mistake. You hear you're behind and decide you must immediately save 20% or 25% of your income starting tomorrow. No exceptions, no flexibility. Then you miss a bill, use a credit card, and abandon the plan. After 2 months, sustainable progress always beats unsustainable intensity. Build a contribution ladder. Jordan's first retirement target is contributing 4% to capture the full match, which creates a total contribution equal to 8% of salary and establishes a real habit before the pressure increases. Then Jordan schedules the next increase instead of waiting to feel motivated. Jordan increases the employee contribution by 1 percentage point every 6 months, sends part of every raise to retirement before lifestyle spending expands, and redirects the old credit card payment into the 401k when the debt is gone. Bonuses or irregular income can also strengthen emergency savings or fund an IRA. Fidelity's 15% savings guideline includes employer contributions and assumes starting at 25. A person starting in their 40s may eventually need a higher savings rate, a later retirement date, lower retirement spending, or some combination. But don't let the ideal rate stop you from taking the first step. Once the ladder gets you moving, there are 3 levers that actually change the math, and one of them has nothing to do with cutting expenses. There are 3 major levers available to a late starter, and one of them surprises almost everyone. Lever 1 is to save more. Focus on your largest recurring expenses, not 30 tiny sacrifices. Automate savings on payday before the money enters your everyday spending account. The amount you contribute is more controllable than what the market returns. Lever 2 is to earn more. Christine Benz, Morningstar's Director of Personal Finance and Retirement Planning, emphasizes using the decade before retirement to maximize income and accelerate savings. That doesn't mean a second full-time job. It means pursuing a promotion, negotiating compensation, changing employers when the economics justify it, updating a certification, or adding sustainable secondary income. But the additional income needs a job before lifestyle spending expands. Lever 3 is to create retirement flexibility. That could mean retiring 1 or 2 years later, transitioning into part-time work, reducing future housing costs, moving to a less expensive area, lowering annual spending, or delaying Social Security when that fits your circumstances. But this lever comes with a warning. The EBRI 2026 Retirement Confidence Survey found that many retirees left work earlier than planned because of health problems, disability, caregiving responsibilities, or changes at work. Working longer can improve a plan, but it shouldn't be the only plan. Save more, earn more, need less. Jordan directs most of every raise toward retirement before spending expands. Jordan also knows that working longer helps the math, but it's not a guarantee you can count on when health or work circumstances change. That's why Jordan's building the other 2 levers at the same time. Let's return to Jordan. Jordan is 45 with a $75,000 salary, 0 starting balance, a hypothetical 6% annual return, and monthly contributions. We assume monthly end-of-period contributions and exclude taxes, fees, inflation, and future salary increases, so the comparison stays clear. Real returns won't arrive smoothly. Some years might be positive, and some might be negative. There are no guaranteed market returns. In scenario 1, Jordan contributes 6% of salary, and the employer contributes 4%, which means money goes in from 2 sources at the same time. That totals approximately $625 per month, and after 10 years at the hypothetical 6% return, the account would be approximately $102,000. That's what steady automatic contributions look like starting from 0. In scenario 2, Jordan contributes 12% of salary, and the employer contributes 4%, which together create a stronger monthly flow that steadily builds the retirement balance over the full 10-year period. That combination sends about $1,000 per month into the account, and after 10 years the balance would be approximately $164,000. Here is what changes when the contribution rate moves higher. In scenario 3, Jordan pushes the contribution to 20% of salary, while the employer still adds 4%. That combination produces the highest monthly flow and the most aggressive catch-up trajectory. The total contribution is about $1,500 per month, and after 10 years the account would reach approximately $246,000. These are hypothetical future dollar illustrations, and they aren't predictions. At returns between 4% and 8%, the results could vary substantially, and actual results could fall outside that range. But the most important point is not that $246,000 automatically solves retirement, because it doesn't. The important point is what changes during that decade. By age 55, Jordan has eliminated high-interest debt, built emergency savings, established a double-digit retirement contribution rate, and developed a system that can continue for another decade. That system is the real payoff. At the same hypothetical $1,000 monthly contribution and 6% return, beginning at 40 and continuing to 67 could produce approximately $807,000. At 45, the same path could build approximately $546,000. At 49, it could reach approximately $387,000. Again, none of those numbers is guaranteed, and none automatically determines whether a person is retirement ready. They just show the value of every additional year. Starting earlier helps, and starting today still matters. At age 50, extra contribution capacity becomes available. For 2026, the employee contribution limit for most 401k, 403b, governmental 457 plans, and the federal thrift savings plan is $24,500, which represents an increase from the $23,500 limit that applied in 2025. People who are at least 50 can generally contribute an extra $8,000, bringing the potential employee total to $32,500. The 2026 IRA contribution limit is $7,500, and people who are age 50 or older can generally make an extra catch-up contribution of $1,100 on top of that base amount for the year. These limits can change, so verify the rules for the year in which you contribute. And remember, catch-up contributions create account capacity, not cash. The real work during your 40s is creating monthly margin, reducing expensive debt, and raising the percentage of income you can consistently invest. If you don't have a workplace retirement plan, investigate whether you're eligible for a traditional IRA, Roth IRA, self-employed retirement plan, or another appropriate account. The account is just the container, and your savings behavior supplies the money. Trap 1 is trying to gamble out of the deficit. Starting late calls for greater consistency, not greater recklessness. Be extremely skeptical of anyone promising extraordinary returns with little risk, or pressuring you to act right now. Trap 2 is investing while your cash flow remains broken. If every emergency returns to a credit card because you have no accessible cash buffer built up yet, your plan is fragile and vulnerable to the next unexpected bill that arrives without warning. You need a buffer first. Trap 3 is contributing money but never checking how it is invested. Verify that the contributions are actually invested according to a diversified allocation. Review the fees and understand what you own. A target date fund may be a simple option in some plans, but you still need to review its allocation, risks, and costs. Trap 4 is assuming that future income or a later retirement will solve everything without real planning today. A promotion may happen, you may work longer, and markets may perform well. But a sound plan doesn't require every uncertain event to go perfectly. If you have made it this far, you already have the plan. Now here's how to start it in the next 7 days. Locate every retirement account on day 1, calculate your 5 numbers on day 2, and read your employer match investing rules on day 3, so you know exactly what compensation is available. And when it becomes yours, choose a starter emergency savings target on day 4, and list your debts on day 5. Set or increase your retirement contribution on day 6. Schedule the next automatic increase on day 7, and put it on the calendar now so you don't leave the next step to motivation, willpower, or the hope that you'll feel like doing it later. Your current balance is a fact. It's not your identity, and it's not your final number. The next 10 years will pass whether you build the plan or avoid it, and that same time is going to go by no matter what you decide to do about your money today. Your reset begins with the next dollar. Drop your biggest money question in the comments. I read every one, and it shapes what I cover next. Subscribe for one clear, calm video every week that helps you make the next better money decision, without the noise, the pressure, or the shame of always feeling behind. I'm Evan Cole, and this is 2 a.m. Money Reset, where we look forward to hearing from you and helping you on the next right step.